everybody. Welcome to another, I don't know, what are we going to call this? Show and tell? It's a video. It's a video on YouTube, on my channel. And it's about stuff I found in January. So let's dive into it and see some of the different things I've found thrift shopping. Now, I exclusively buy my technology from thrift stores. The reason being is I can hands-on touch the things that I'm buying, test them. Oftentimes I can find a power supply, and I can actually run these systems, make sure they post. Sometimes they have a hard drive, sometimes they don't, but at least I can get them posting to make sure that they post, which, you know, is the foundation for a usable laptop or PC. So let's dive into it. The first one I found quite a few laptops January. So I think it's worth focusing on what I found and something that may show up in a future video very soon. I'm hoping. We'll see. So the first thing I found, or alphabetically speaking, is the Acer TravelMate 2480. And what I particularly liked about this one is how base model it is, how stock it is, and how much it resembled what you would have gotten back in 2006. It even had all the different badges on it. It was one of those XP sort of era laptops with a single core processor, but they were kind of trying to push Vista, and yeah, I thought it was a pretty cool system, and I've mostly refurbished it, so it'll be coming up in a video at some point, but that's the first video, or sorry, first laptop that I found this time around. Okay, let's move on to the next. So yes, I think I've talked about this in the last video, but we're going to go through it. Hey, we're going to go through, we're going to reiterate, we're going to go into this and find out what we found this January. So again, this one, now the previous laptop would be considered probably budget for its time period. This one, on the other hand, is very business oriented. It's a very small laptop. It's an upgrade from certainly a netbook, which came out a few years later. But this would fall under the category of sort of like a business ultra portable laptop. Beautiful laptop, a lot of quality features built into it, very impressive, and I hope to do a video on this one soon. That's sort of the top of it. HP business laptop. Has a few sort of ThinkPad sort of aspects to it, but yeah, I think it's a great laptop, and hopefully we'll be covering it soon. Found this guy. I've done a video on it, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it. It's a compact, what is it? CQ42. We're going to call that Presario CQ42. Then I found another compact HP takeover sort of laptop. It is the CQ60, and again, I'll have to do a video on that one. Yeah, it's a Vista era laptop, sort of Vista Windows 7 on that cusp. This one has a dual core Pentium processor, so it runs Windows 7 perfectly fine. That's what I installed on it, and there'll be a video coming, I'm sure, on this one as well. And of course, the crescendo of this month's Thrift Finds is any kind of ThinkPad of any substance, and this one I did find, and I was very happy I found it, because it is a ThinkPad T420, which I did not have in my collection, and now I do, and it works great. Did a video on it. We'll probably do another video on it to kind of benchmark it, see how it shakes out in comparison to some of the other systems I have. Like, for example, I have a T430 that I'd love to look at versus this, or a T410, which I have a couple of those. It'd be interesting to see how they compare in performance. The last laptop I've run across, which was today, and which prompted me to do this video, was the final laptop, probably of January 2025. And that would be the Toshiba Protege M800 laptop. This one is very interesting. I've never had a lot of Toshiba laptops. I have had a couple in my time of having many brands, but I never had a lot of more modern Toshiba laptops. The ones I had were of the XP era, big, thick, bulky, awful, frankly, efforts at making a laptop. This one, impressive. It's got a lot of design language and elements that I don't think I've ever seen on any kind of laptops. This thing has a lot of, like, I don't know, they decided to go with this glow effect just under the surface of the plastic with the indicator lights, the media touch system. I like it. It's different. And you know what? This is what I like about old laptops. Everything you see today kind of just mimics the MacBook approach to laptops. This, on the other hand, is going for something different, and I like it. I dig it. Now, pink, I'll be honest with you, not the choice I would have made if I could have found something different, but hey, I'm secure. So I can handle this laptop in its full pink glory. But yeah, I picked it up, put in Windows 7 on it, probably will make a video about it. Hope you like it. Okay, once we get past the laptops, what are we doing here? Well, the thing I look for next when I'm thrifting is mechanical keyboards, and good quality ones, different ones that I don't have. Obviously, I don't want to get the same mechanical keyboard over and over again. So the one that I found this month that tops them all and is really cool is the Keychron C3 Pro. I've never had a Keychron keyboard, and I'm loving this thing. It is very cool, and whoever decked it out with these keys, they're the thickest keys I've ever seen. They're so thick, and they're just a pleasure to use. And so I just think this is like the best of all worlds. It's a budget Keychron, but the keycaps are just amazing, and it really has introduced me to a different level of of keyboard. So that was a big highlight for me personally this January. Yes, the old Redragon. Now, what I think about Redragon is it's a very popular brand because it sort of hits the right things. It's a good quality product. It has, Gatoron switches in this particular case. So it has a type of switch that mimics the more recognizable sort of switches that everybody has become accustomed to thinking is the best. So it has these kind of knockoff switches, but they're great. They sound good. They feel good when I type on them. I've been using them for now a good day and a half, I guess. And I'm impressed with this keyboard. And why I'm impressed with it, well, first of all, I don't like 10 keyless. I like the full-size standard keyboard. And it is. And it works great. And at first I was worried because it was registering the Y key sometimes as a double key registry. So you get a couple of Y's for some reason. And then as I've used it and, maybe it had some moisture in it. I don't know. Dirt, who knows. But it seems to have cleared up. So I love it. Great keyboard. And I'm using it this month. Probably February. I'll be using it. This was one of those no-name-ish Chinese knockoff kind of keyboards. Meh. It's a keyboard. It's 10 keyless. The lights do all kinds of funny things. It doesn't feel that great to type on. It's okay. You'll notice I always switch around the space bar to make it easier when I'm typing. I find that just feels better on my thumbs when I strike it. I like that you can flip it around. Any keyboard that can flip the space bar on, I like. So, it's okay. I much prefer the Redragon and certainly the Keychron. Far superior. But it's, whenever I come across a mechanical keyboard, I pick one up. And if it works, it works. On occasion, I've had a few that haven't, and I've just salvaged the keys because, a lot of times these keycaps are worth the amount of money that I spend on the actual board. A lot of these boards are worth, I pick them up for, $10. Well, check out a keycap set. How much does that cost you? So the keycap set alone is worth the price of the board. All right, so let's get into some of the stuff that I happened across, picked up. I kind of consider to be pretty useful. This is an ADATA portable hard drive, 1 terabyte. Nice. Now I've run across a couple of these, not necessarily ADATA, but they're like portable hard drives. Typically, all you have to do is get a hold of a cord, because they usually don't come with the cord, but you get a hold of a cord with a connector, like a SATA connector, and you're good to go. I've got about, 3 of these that I've found at Value Village that I've picked up, and 1 terabyte, they're significant. And when I run, a lot of times I run crystal disk information on them, and you know what? A lot of them have like a few days use. They were used as a backup device very infrequently. They a lot of times have a ton of personal information on them. I just, format them, move on. I'm very respectful of people's data. I've run across somebody's pictures and all their personal data on there. I just format the hard drive. I don't even check it out. If it was me, I wouldn't want that. So, do unto others sort of thing. If you want to be treated a certain way, then treat others a certain way. If I find people's data on any of the systems I find, I wipe the hard drive, or I get rid of all that data. And, I don't want to peer into somebody else's personal life. But anyhow, that's just because I wouldn't want people looking at my personal life. So that's the way I operate with this stuff. But I found this hard drive, and it, like I said, only had a few days worth of usage. So likely the thing will last for years and years to go. And I love that because, you pick these things up for next to nothing. And now you've got a terabyte of storage. Well, that's great because, I can back up all my old software, any kind of personal data I have, to something like this, and it's solid. It's not, it's got very little use. I have never had one of these fail on me yet, and the amount that I'm probably going to use it as a backup device, it'll last me probably the rest of my life. So, love this find. Let's go into the old mice that you find. Now, I don't make it a practice to buy a lot of mice, but when they're $3, $4, up to $5, anywhere from $3 to $5, I look at them, and if they have their dongle, the what do they call those things? The receiver, wireless receiver. If they have that, now look at them. Like for $3, I'll pick one up. So the first one I found was this lead sales. It's like these Asian names. Anyway, not gonna go there, but yeah, that was a good one. Has all the basic elements of a Logitech mouse. Tried it out, used it, great mouse. So yeah, I'm glad, good pickup. And like I said, it was in the super cheap range. Picked up one of these guys. This is a Logitech M185 mouse. Great mouse. Great for laptop use. You bring your laptop out, you plug this little dongle in, and away you go. It's not a unifying receiver. It's just a simple receiver that Logitech is using, and yeah, good mouse. Another Logitech mouse, which is known as the M187 mouse, the smallest mouse I think they make. Great mouse, super portable, super great for mobile usage, and works like a charm. Another mouse that they offer is the M170 mouse, and again, this is not a unifying mouse. This has got like this little receiver that pairs up with this particular type of mouse. It will pair up with other mice. You just have to get the software from Logitech that will allow you to pair it with another mouse that's of the same type. But yeah, great mouse. Good for taking with you on the go with your laptop, say down to the coffee shop or whatever. Great mouse. This is a cool mouse. This is called a Performance MX mouse. This is when they started out doing the Performance MX series of mice, where they started to make it very ultra comfortable to use and have a lot of features. This one has the infinite scroll wheel, feature that I love. Very basic, but very useful. The thing I love about this mouse is you can replace the rechargeable battery. It has a charging port in the front using a old style micro USB connector. But yeah, it charges up a rechargeable battery. You can replace the rechargeable battery. It's one of those mice that's kind of like a forever mouse, because the newest Logitech MX systems, MX Master is what they typically call them, they don't have any option to replace the rechargeable battery. So once the rechargeable battery kind of sees the end of life, so does the mouse. This thing, replace the rechargeable battery and you've got years to go with this thing. So love the shape, love everything about this thing. Great mouse. And of course, we're getting back to the Logitech unifying receiver. So I want to just make a note about this. If you have these type of receivers, you got them with one of your devices, or maybe a combo system of a keyboard and a mouse, keep this thing. There's so many of these mice I see show up at Value Village, but they're just missing this component, and you can easily pair this with a ton of different mice and keyboards, and you've got yourself a perfectly good mice and keyboard combo for nothing. So if you ever have one of these, don't ever throw this thing out. It's very useful. Yeah, moving on. So the last mouse I can talk about here is really dirty and rough. Was this SteelSeries Sensei 310 gaming mouse. It's an ambidextrous mouse. After I cleaned it up, it was quite nice. It has nice rubber grips on the side. The only thing I will say is it's got these buttons on either side of the mouse. On the side, I would prefer them just to be on the left side of the mouse. Otherwise, it's a very popular mouse. Picked it up for next to nothing. I love getting name brand mice that, I used to just look at in the store and go, wow, that would be cool to have. Now I can get them for like $5. I just have to clean them up. Now most mice, you can be pretty aggressive in the cleaning of these mice with soap and water, brush, and just clean them up. Let them dry out overnight. Tilt them up on the side so that the water drains out, and that any kind of moisture is not collecting in the main body but draining out through the front of the mouse. That's what I'd recommend, and I've had nothing but success with probably 99% of the mice that I've ever cleaned that way. And then you've got a perfectly good mouse. A lot of these mice, all they need is a good cleaning and they're good to go. This is like a dirty mouse. If you saw the end result, you'd be impressed with how clean it is once you, like I said, take a little soap and water, or if it has gunk on it, you can also use isopropyl alcohol, and you got a perfectly good new mouse. All right, let's get to laptop bags. Now, if you collect a lot of laptops, well, where are you going to put them? Well, you need bags. Like my thing is I collect laptops. I've given up on collecting desktops because they're too big, and I just don't have the space. I don't have enough, but I tend to pick up lots of laptops, and a lot of these bags you can find at Value Village are about anywhere from $13 to from like say $10 to $13, some in that range, and they're perfectly good. Now here's a great example. This is a nylon bag. It can easily store two different laptops in it, and this thing was like $9.99. This one here is a Kensington laptop bag, very sturdy, top notch. Again, it was like, it's in the $10 to $12 range, $10 to $13 range, somewhere in that range. Leather, completely leather, like real leather. Laptop bag. This thing was $9.99. I couldn't believe it. $9.99 for a laptop bag. It's leather. It's crazy. And then here's the last one. This is a Samsonite laptop bag. Again, nylon, very solid, very thick, lots of cushion for your laptop. You can easily handle two laptops within the same bag. Great storage device. You can slip it underneath your bed. You can slip it wherever you want for storage, and you can include the battery and the charger inside of it. And then there you go. You got a place to store your stuff. I picked up 4 of these over the course of the month because they were so cheap. Now, one of the things I always look for is cheap laptop adapters, because let's face it, you buy lots of laptops, but you don't always get the adapter with them. So one of the things I look for is these really high quality adapters, and a lot of them are interchangeable with other laptops, so you don't have to use a Dell charger with a Dell laptop. Sometimes it'll work with an HP laptop. It, depends on the barrel plug typically. So I always pick up laptop adapters that have high wattage, because they tend to be able to be used for lower wattage systems. So if something demands, say, 45 watts, it'll take a 90 watt, no problem. The power adapter will basically will provide the wattage that the system needs, depending on how it's set up. But anyway, so I got this Dell 90 watt adapter. Picked it up, solid as a rock. It's got the old barrel plug type thing, and it fits a billion different types of Dell laptops that for a very long time they use this type of connector. So that's cool. HP, again, same type of connector. Found this one. It's a 90 watt adapter. It powers a couple of the laptops that I found this particular month. So great find. Lenovo. Okay, so here we go. Lenovo use these square type plugs. They are, plugs that were from around 2015, 16, somewhere in that range, up through the years. And now they're using USB-C. So these are particularly useful for a lot of ThinkPad and I guess they're, what do they call them? ThinkPad and IdeaPad, I think that's what they're calling them. Anyway, these particular kind of rectangular plugs, really, really useful to have. So I got one of those. And of course the standard barrel plug. These are really common for the T, probably 410, 420, 430. I think those definitely cover some of them. They're 65 watt. And yeah, there you go. This one I end up using for one of my laptops to test it, and it works great. So it's actually not a Lenovo, but that particular plug works properly for my Acer system that I bought. And another Lenovo, this one's like a 120 watt. It works perfectly with this Toshiba that I just picked up. So, these adapters, power adapters, are indispensable. You need them. So, when you pick them up, when you can pick them up for from $5 to $10, get one. They're not that big. You can store a whole bunch of them in a box, and you're set to go for when you find one of those funky laptops and need a weird power adapter. You got a whole bunch of them. The other thing I found was this wireless charging pencil case. Now, this was just after Christmas, and I was thinking, this has got to be somebody's stocking stuff or gift that they got, and they went, no, and they threw it. They gave it to Value Village. But you know what? This thing charges my iPhone, and without having to connect anything. It's just like a wireless charger. You prop it up against this thing, and it starts charging. So I was happy with that, and it's USB-C. Comes with this USB-C cord, so I can hook it up to my computer, and away you go. So this bridge cord thing, yeah, it works. It's decent, and I think I got it for $5.99, so it was like next to nothing. So you find these things, you go, I could use this thing because I don't have a wireless charger. I plug it in, charge it that way, but this is pretty nice. So yeah, I was happy with that. And of course, whenever I go to Value Village, I always look for different types of calculators because I'm a calculator weirdo. I like calculators, and I particularly like finding ones that I don't have. A lot of Casios, but this particular type is really nice because it's a solar calculator, and that particular solar cell is amazing. Like you can be in low light conditions and it still provides power to this kind of a calculator. It has lots of different basic functionality, and it's super small, so you fit it in your pocket no problem. So this is the FX260. Love this calculator. So you can pick these typically up for anywhere from about the $3 to $5 range, I'm going to say, that around there. So that was one. Found this one. This is the FX 991ES Plus C. It's got the natural language interface, which is like a dot matrix interface, which allows you to do things like fractions. Very impressive calculator, very nice. And again, you can pick them up for anywhere from, like I say, $3 or $4 to up to maybe $10. Super cool calculator to me, for me. This is a second edition one. And then this one, this was a weird one. Now, this is clearly a Casio knockoff, but they call it a Catiga CS121 scientific graphing calculator. So this is a graphing calculator, which you don't generally see too often, and it allows you to do graphing with it using, like, it doesn't have like the standard, most of them have like a AAA batteries. They usually take about 4 AAA batteries. This thing takes a couple of 2032 batteries. So kind of a unique form factor and a complete, to me, a no-name knockoff type calculator, but built well, works, played with it a bit, seems to have pretty good functionality. Found a manual online, so completely functional. I can figure out how to do things with it. Very cool calculator. I love things that I find that are different. This is, wow, very different. All right, so here we go. How often do you find that you need to use a newer system that has an HDMI cable, but you need to connect it to a VGA system? Well, I got a ton of VGA monitors that I've picked up. Something like this is ideal because I can easily switch the connectors over and run a VGA monitor with a HDMI output. So this is a really cool little thing. And this was an interesting find as we continue on, 30 minutes plus. This is a coaxial cable internet system. I have TELUS, and I have a coaxial cable that provides my output to my set-top box for video, but it also provides data. So all you need to do is have a splitter, and you can have that splitter coming out from the wall going into this, and then you can actually have this going into coming out with an Ethernet connection, and you can run your system, so all your computers, through a direct line, Ethernet line, and get incredibly fast speeds through one of these converters. So this is a TELUS ECB 6200 coaxial to Ethernet converter box that I picked up for like $10 at the thrift store. Obviously somebody must have donated it because they no longer were using it. But great little piece of technology that I happen to be able to use with my present internet situation, and I can actually extend my network, my not necessarily my network, my connection to the internet, and have it wired to an Ethernet cord into my hobby systems and get tremendous speeds out of this thing. So really loving that. And the last but not least, as we finish up this show and tell, floppy disks. Yeah, whenever I find floppy disks at Value Village, I tend to pick them up. They typically go for about $5. This particular case, I got 8 of them. It turned out one of them was bad, so I got 7 total. Formatted them, tested them, they're all good. The 7 that exist in the Sony pack. And then I got these other ones, 11. They're just like rando stuff that people have given to Value Village. This one had like Corel Draw 3 clip art on it, but I checked and this is backed up to the Internet Archive, so no worries about formatting these. But yeah, so I formatted these, and yeah, these are great. So these are a bunch of no-name discs, but they all formatted fine, and they're usable as floppies. Now, why would you want to use floppies, right? Like, why bother? Well, guess what? Floppies have a lot of useful functionality, and I still can use them for a number of different projects. And so I have a number of different USB pluggable external floppies. So these things are great for me, and I don't, it's not like I have to use a floppy, but hey, there's lots of old software that you can use them for. You can even boot to install. Your BIOS from a floppy. There's a lot of different uses for floppies, even though they've been phased out. And the floppy drives that I have, believe it or not, they work on Windows 11. I just plug them in, they work on Windows 11. They work on Windows XP. They're just like across multi-generations. They work perfectly fine. Never have a problem with them. The only problem that occasionally happens is a floppy will give up will kind of die because of the boot sector gets corrupted or something. But generally speaking, even then, like how hard is it to back up a floppy, right, to your hard drive? So I don't know. They're a great medium. I particularly like to mess around with, and I continue to use them. So there's that. Of course, I've already talked about this. I picked up this Java book, very cool, from 2002. I happen to be a person who likes to play around with old compilers and coding type things from yesteryear, from the late 90s up to, present, I guess. This was a cool find, particularly like Deedle and Deedle books, because they're kind of college level books. Came with its DVD, very happy with that. And the last thing I picked up, believe it or not, was a engineering ruler. Now, why would I pick up a triangular engineering ruler? Why would I bother with that? Well, I don't have a lot of use for rulers and physical sort of stationary things these days. But when I need to use a ruler, trust me, having a triangular ruler when I'm going through a long list of things is a treat. So this thing was next to nothing. Picked it up for, I think, $1 or $2. And yeah, there you go. So that's my January 2025 finds for for you. I hope you enjoyed my little, I don't know, show and tell. 40 minutes in. Hope you found it relaxing, because it's probably just putting you to sleep. Probably won't get many views, and that's okay. You know, I've made peace with that, because guess what? The beauty of that is there's not a lot of commercials and not a lot of ads, and there's an element of people who love this stuff. There's an element of people who don't give a flying. Anyway, so I hope you enjoy this video. I hope you're having a great evening. It's pretty late at night for me. I'm doing this late night, but I hope you enjoy this. And again, we'll see you in the next video.